Maria is dead.
What? Maria is dead?
And so it began. A simple mistake, carried through time, now passed down to a young child. Before we begin this gripping story, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like, share, and drop a comment on where you're watching from.
Mama T's bar was always full of customers, the air filled with laughter and the sound of glasses clinking. People came to drink, eat, and enjoy their time. The bar was modern and clean, a mix of old and new, but there was something different about the way things felt when you looked closely. Maria, Mama T's daughter, was moving fast between the tables, taking orders and bringing drinks. She was 18, but she looked much older. Her skin was tired, and her face showed the strain of being a young mother and working non-stop. She held Anna, her 1-year-old daughter, in her arms, still breastfeeding as she worked. It was a lot for any young woman to handle, but Maria had no choice. Mama T sat behind the counter, keeping a close eye on her daughter. The shop was busy, but Mama T didn't care. She never showed any kindness to Maria. Instead, she barked orders. "Maria, stop wasting time. Hurry up and serve that table." Maria didn't say anything. She just nodded and rushed to get the job done. People around the bar didn't know what went on behind the scenes. They didn't see the harsh treatment Maria received every day. If Maria made a small mistake, like taking too long to serve someone or dropping a drink, Mama T would get angry. "What's wrong with you, Maria?" she would yell, throwing a glass of water at her daughter's face. Sometimes Mama T's anger turned to violence. Maria had learned not to fight back, not to speak, and to do whatever her mother told her. It was always the same. No mercy, no rest. Mama T didn't just yell at her daughter. She reminded her all the time of the mistake Maria had made when she was younger. "You were just a child at 17, Maria. You had Anna when you were still a baby yourself. Look at what you've done to her. You've ruined your life and now you're ruining hers too." The words hurt Maria deeply, but she stayed silent. She didn't know how to escape her mother's grip. She didn't know how to change the situation, and she felt trapped. She had dreams for Anna, dreams of a better life, but those dreams seemed far away. How could she give Anna a better future when she couldn't even take care of herself? Each day felt the same. Work at the bar, constant pressure from Mama T and trying to care for Anna. Maria had no help, no support. It felt like she was carrying the weight of the world, and no one understood. One evening, Maria was in the bar, running around trying to serve the customers. She was tired and stressed, trying to take care of Anna while managing the bar. She was doing everything herself, taking orders, serving drinks, cleaning up, and it was all too much for her. That day, a few customers drank their drinks, but didn't pay. Maria didn't notice. She thought they had paid, so she didn't check the till properly. It wasn't until later, when Mama T asked her to account for the day's sales, that she realized the money was missing. Mama T's face turned red with anger when she heard the news. "How could you be so careless?" she shouted. "You've ruined everything again." Her voice was full of rage. Without warning, Mama T slapped Maria across the face. "Look at you," she yelled. "A child at 17 with no future. You think I'll trust you with anything?" Maria stood there, frozen, feeling like she was being punished for everything she had ever done wrong. Her mind raced, but she couldn't find the words to defend herself. Mama T didn't care. She just kept yelling at her, reminding her of the past, the mistakes Maria had made when she was young, when she had Anna. "You've messed up your life, and now you're messing up Anna's too," Mama T said. "You think you can fix anything? You can't even get this right." The words stung, and Maria felt small. She felt ashamed, like she didn't belong in her own life. The pain of her mother's words made her feel like she wasn't good enough, like she had no future to look forward to. As if the punishment wasn't enough, Mama T made sure Maria couldn't sleep inside the house that night. "You don't deserve to sleep here," she said. Maria had no choice but to sleep outside with Anna. The cold weather made her shiver, and the mosquitoes bit them all night. They both suffered, and Maria cried quietly, not wanting to wake Anna. She felt the weight of everything she had lost. The next morning, the smell of food filled the house as Mama T cooked. But there was no food for Maria. Mama T didn't even look at her. She just shouted from the kitchen, "You're not eating today. You'll starve for 3 days because of the mess you made yesterday." Maria didn't argue. She knew better than to say anything. Instead, she stood there quietly, watching Mama T cook. Anna was in her arms, and Maria felt a deep sadness in her heart. The hunger in her stomach didn't hurt as much as the feeling of being worthless. She'd failed again, and Mama T's anger was always there, waiting to punish her. When Mama T turned her back, Maria quietly went to the back of the bar shop. She sat down on the cold floor with Anna in her lap. She didn't want to cry in front of Mama T, but tears filled her eyes. Anna, unaware of what was happening, played with her mother's fingers. Maria wiped her tears, not wanting to scare her daughter. But Maria was not completely helpless. She had saved a little money, little by little, from her work at the bar. It wasn't much, but it was enough to buy some food for herself. She used the money secretly, making sure Mama T didn't know. She would buy small meals when she could, hiding away in the back of the bar, eating quickly so Mama T wouldn't see. Even though she was starved, Maria didn't stop working. She cleaned, served drinks, and did everything Mama T ordered. The exhaustion weighed her down, but she kept moving. It was the only way she knew how to survive. Every day felt like a struggle, but Maria kept going for Anna. She had to keep working, even if it meant going hungry and being treated like this. She dreamed of a day when she would be free, when Anna would have a better life. But for now, all she could do was get through each day, hoping that somehow things would change. Maria sat quietly in a corner one day, her mind racing with thoughts. She felt trapped in her life, overwhelmed by the pressure from Mama T and the constant feeling of being worthless. As she looked around the bar, a thought crossed her mind. What if she just left? What if she ran away, far from Mama T and this life, to somewhere no one knew her? The idea of escaping seemed like a dream, but then her eyes fell on Anna, and guilt washed over her. She couldn't leave her child behind no matter how bad things were. The thought of abandoning Anna with Mama T made her stop. She couldn't do it. Not yet. Weeks passed, but the pressure from Mama T never let up. The endless demands, the cruel words, the harsh punishments. Maria felt like she couldn't breathe. The idea of leaving kept coming back to her, growing stronger with each passing day. She told herself she needed to do it. She had to escape this life for her own sanity and for Anna's future. One night, after another argument with Mama T, Maria couldn't take it anymore. She was done. She would run away, take Anna with her, and start fresh. But there was one big problem. She didn't have enough money to get away. Without money, she couldn't even begin to think about leaving. That was when her desperation took over. Maria made up her mind. She would do whatever it took to save up. She would take every risk. She started with the till. Mama T kept the bar's earnings in a locked box behind the counter, but Maria had watched Mama T open it enough times to know the combination. Late one night, when the bar was quiet, Maria quietly unlocked the till and took a small amount of money. It wasn't much, but it was a start. But that wasn't enough. Maria knew she needed more. She started making deals with Mama T's customers, men who came to the bar and sat at the counter offering her money in exchange for her company. The embarrassment was overwhelming, but Maria pushed it aside. She ignored the dirty looks, the whispers, and the shame. She needed money, and she would do whatever it took to get it. Each time she did it, it felt like a piece of her was breaking. But she told herself it was temporary. It was for Anna. She would save up enough to leave, to get out of this life for good. She would never let Anna grow up in this place. Maria kept working, kept stealing, and kept selling herself. The money slowly began to add up, but so did the weight of her choices. She hated herself for what she was doing, but she kept going, pushing the guilt away. She had made up her mind. Nothing, not even her shame, would stop her now. One Sunday, everything seemed to fall into place. Mama T had gone to one of her friends' parties, leaving the house quiet. Maria knew this was the moment she had been waiting for, the chance to leave without anyone noticing. She moved quickly, packing her things, bathing Anna, and preparing for the life-changing step. Before she left, she bought a small pack of biscuits for Anna. She knew it would keep the little one distracted for a while. Maria kissed Anna's forehead and whispered, "Mama will be back soon," even though she knew she wouldn't. With one last look at the home she had tried to escape from, Maria left. She left behind everything. The bar, Mama T's harsh words, and the constant pressure. She fled to a faraway place, a place where no one knew her, a place where she could start fresh, without the weight of Mama T's grip on her life. That evening, when Mama T returned, she was surprised to find the house silent. Anna was playing quietly by herself, looking up at Mama T with her big, innocent eyes. Maria was nowhere to be found. Mama T frowned and called out for Maria, but there was no answer. "Where did she go?" she muttered. She assumed Maria had just gone out for a quick errand or maybe to buy something. "She'll be back soon," Mama T thought, though a feeling of unease settled in her chest. As the hours passed and Maria still didn't return, Mama T began to get annoyed. Where could she be? Why hadn't Maria come back to explain herself? By evening, Mama T was angry, her mind racing. But she stayed calm, taking care of Anna as best as she could, waiting for Maria to walk through the door. But the door never opened. 2 days passed, and still no sign of Maria. Mama T's worries started to grow. People from the bar came by to ask about her. Customers wanted to know where Maria had gone. It was then that Mama T started to feel something deeper than anger. She felt fear. Something was wrong. Maria wasn't just missing. She had left. She had run away. The thought hit Mama T like a punch to the gut. She tried to ignore it, tried to tell herself that Maria would come back. But deep down she knew. Maria was gone. She had escaped. And now Mama T was left alone, with nothing but Anna and the bar to take care of. As the days passed, Mama T's feelings of loss turned into something else. She started to take her anger out on little Anna. The baby had no idea what was happening, but when Mama T was frustrated, she would snap at Anna. She would shout at her for no reason, or push her away when she wanted attention. It was a release for Mama T, punishing Anna in her own way for the loss of Maria. Mama T searched everywhere for Maria. She asked people, went to different places, and even talked to the bar's customers, but there was no trace of her daughter. Every lead she followed ended in disappointment. Maria had disappeared without a trace. As days turned into weeks, the pain of Maria's disappearance didn't fade. It haunted Mama T. The anger, the hurt, the feeling of betrayal, all mixed together. And every day as she took care of Anna, she couldn't help but feel the weight of it. Maria was gone, and Mama T was left with nothing but the emptiness of her own choices. Maria had never imagined that life could be so difficult. After she ran away, she found herself lost in a strange city, unsure of what to do. For days, she wandered the streets, asking for help, but receiving none. Her money was running low and she had no idea where to go next. It felt like she was falling deeper into a world she didn't understand. After what seemed like an eternity, Maria finally found a place to rent. It was small and simple, but it was hers. For a few months she lived there, trying to rebuild her life, all the while missing Anna. She thought about her child every day, wondering if she was safe with Mama T or if the anger and pain had made things worse. Then one day, a woman came to her door. She was older, well-dressed, and spoke with a calm confidence. The woman told Maria that she could offer her work in Libya, that she would help her make her own money, and that she could start fresh there. Maria, desperate to change her life and get away from the pain of her past, agreed without thinking twice. She needed money. She needed a future, and this was her chance. The journey to Libya was long and dangerous. Maria had no idea what she was getting into. The roads were harsh, the desert endless, and the heat unbearable. But Maria held on to the hope that she was doing the right thing. That is, until disaster struck. One fateful day while they were crossing the desert, the vehicle Maria was in broke down. They were stranded in the middle of nowhere, and the situation grew worse by the hour. In the chaos of trying to fix the vehicle, Maria fell out. She was struck by the hot desert winds and the rough terrain, and within moments, she was gone. It wasn't long before someone found her body, lifeless in the desert. Strangers with no connection to her were the ones to make the call. The phone rang late one evening at Mama T's house. She picked it up, unaware of what was coming. A strange voice spoke on the other end. "Is this Maria's mother? We regret to inform you that we found her body in the desert. She fell from the vehicle during a trip, and she didn't survive." The words hit Mama T like a storm. She dropped the phone, her heart pounding in her chest. Maria was dead. Her daughter, her flesh and blood, was gone. Tears filled Mama T's eyes. The woman who had always been so harsh, so unforgiving, now felt the full weight of her actions. She cried for the daughter she had mistreated, for the life Maria could have had if things had been different. Every word she had ever said to Maria, the insults, the punishments, the neglect, came crashing down on her now. She had lost Maria, and there was no way to take back the hurt she had caused. The next days were a blur. Mama T made the arrangements for Maria's burial, but nothing felt real. Her daughter was gone, and no funeral or ceremony could bring her back. The town came together for the burial, but the weight of regret and loss hung over Mama T like a dark cloud. As they lowered Maria's body into the ground, Mama T stood there, tears streaming down her face. She wasn't just mourning the loss of her daughter. She was mourning the mother she could have been, the relationship she could have had with Maria, and the future they would never share. She whispered to herself through her sobs, "I'm sorry, Maria. I never meant for this to happen. I never meant to hurt you." And just like that, Maria was gone. Years passed, and Anna grew up under Mama T's watchful eye. But unlike the childhood Maria had once longed for, Anna's upbringing was nothing like what a child needed. Mama T never truly parented her. She didn't scold or correct Anna when she made mistakes. She pampered her instead, giving her whatever she wanted, ignoring the fact that Anna was already showing signs of trouble. From a young age, Anna did things a child shouldn't be doing, things that were far beyond her years. She would sneak out of the house at night, staying away until the early morning hours, leaving Mama T in the dark. Sometimes, she would return home in the morning with her clothes disheveled, a smirk on her face, as if she knew she had broken every rule Mama T had set. Yet there was no punishment waiting for her. Mama T, instead of scolding her or talking sense into her, would simply give her a smile, wipe her face, and tell her, "You're still my little girl." It wasn't just the sneaking out. Anna never seemed satisfied with what she had. If she received a new dress or toy, she would quickly grow tired of it and demand more. Nothing was ever enough. She threw tantrums when she didn't get what she wanted, and Mama T, weak in her own way, would give in. She didn't know how to tell Anna no, how to set boundaries or make her understand that life wasn't about constant wants. The years passed, and Anna's behavior only worsened. She became more and more spoiled, pushing limits and breaking rules without hesitation. The people around her saw her as a spoiled, entitled child, but Mama T never saw the damage she was doing. She was blinded by her love for Anna, believing that giving her everything would make her happy, even though it only made Anna feel emptier. At times, Anna wouldn't even come home to sleep. She would stay out, sometimes for days, and Mama T would just wait, holding on to the hope that Anna would return. Each time she would promise herself that this was the last time she would allow such behavior. But when Anna would walk back in with that innocent smile, Mama T would fold. There were no serious conversations, no explanations, no rules enforced. Instead, Mama T would simply hug Anna, welcome her back, and forget the mistakes made. The years of poor parenting took their toll. Anna's waywardness grew deeper. She started becoming careless with her actions, lying, sneaking around, and doing things that would only bring trouble. But no one seemed to stop her. Mama T's love was so strong but so misguided, and Anna continued down the wrong path, unaware of the consequences. As Anna grew older, her behavior became less about childish antics and more about rebellion. She didn't care about her grandmother's warnings anymore. She no longer cared for the rules that should have shaped her into a responsible young woman. Instead, she was shaped by neglect, by a love that only gave her what she wanted, never what she needed. Anna was heading down a dangerous path, and no one seemed to notice how much she had strayed from the girl she might have been.